So I was trying to decide if I wanted to make this video, but I feel like there's some things I wanted to say um, when in regards to the assassination of, Charlie Kirk. And I believe it revealed something deep inside everyone's heart, for the good or the bad. I think the world realized something that I learned about 5 years ago with the growing darkness in people's hearts. I've had families and friends come to me roughly saying the same things this past week of, I had friends, neighbors, coworkers that said vile things about, Charlie Kirk and him dying. And, I believe the same things he did, and so will they dance on my grave too if I were to die. I think the mask has come down for a lot more people this time. For me, like I said, it happened 5 years ago. I work in healthcare, and when I was working at one of my nursing homes, the COVID mandates were starting to roll out, and I didn't follow the crowd. And there was a facility-wide meeting one day about the mandates, and just to discuss about how people felt about it. People that I loved and deeply cared for as a therapist one time or another said awful things about, oh, the anti-vaxxers should be fired, separated from society, or just die, preferably from COVID. And I was heartbroken, as these were people, they were talking about people like me that truly wish me ill will and death, for having a different view. And for me, 5 years ago, when they put their mask back on, but I never forgot what they looked like with their mask off, and I could never look at them the same way again. And I think there's a lot of deep-rooted rot in a lot of hearts right now, not just in America, but around the world. And I think the next question becomes, what do we do now? How do we honor Charlie's life? How do we uproot evil? How do we make the world a better place? And, I look at Charlie and I think I can never be him. I'm not blessed with his talents, intellect, charisma, or the ability to win over hearts. No one can replace him. So I think what we need to do is, quiet our hearts so that we can, hear God's voice and what he wants us to do. And because I think God has a plan and has placed each and every one of us in the arenas we need to be in to fight, darkness where it stands. And I think he's equipped each and every one of us with the tools that we need to fulfill that purpose. And so I think it's time to awaken to our purpose, to turn off cruise control, to put on the armor of God, to start storming the gates of hell, and remember who the real enemies, and remember that we don't fight against flesh and blood, but the principalities of darkness. And, I sit here and I know what my purpose is now, and I pray that you find yours. And I think that's how we honor Charlie's life. So now let's talk about everything we've been made to feel afraid to say.